compare you to Kevin Samuels sometimes.
Okay, let me say this. Did Kevin Samuels interview gay men? Did Kevin Samuels interview transgender people?
Well, they say you're like the female
No,
version.
hold on. We gotta do the whole totality.
Okay.
Did Kevin Samuels have poly people on his show? My show has always been a dating show. So yes, we have black women on our show, which is a large portion, but my show was always centered around a dating show. And I think people compare the two because they always like to focus on black women only.
Kevin's show was not a dating show. It was more like a State of the Union address in regards to modern day dating, one of which he would also interview people that would call in, and it was mostly women.
I don't like, even though I'm heavy set, I don't like heavy set men.
It really seems like Kendra G is not slowing down. The young lady has been on a tear recently, all right? She just secured a show on the OWN network, right, which is Oprah's network. And she recently did an event up at Invest Fest. It was a dating event, all right? We did have some criticisms for it, trying to get them rich man in the room who never showed up. Meanwhile, the women were standing there holding the proverbial empty bag. Nevertheless, she's back up on these podcast streets, and I was going to leave this piece of content alone until I realized that she was talking about Kevin Samuels as well as highlighting other YouTubers that she will never learn from or never taught her anything. So you guys already know I'm going to have something to say about this. So let's get after it without further ado.
I know they had like a little, I felt like it was clickbait because when I watched the whole exchange between you and a gentleman that basically tried to come at you and say, well, how you hosting a single show? I know it happened numerous times because it was also Cam. Was Cam Newton called you out on that, but there was another stage you were on.
Yeah, Essence Fest.
Essence Fest stage.
Yeah, I think
Let me play that Essence Fest clip real quick.
Asking for, but that could be a challenge too, because we'll get women that literally do make $300,000, literally does have her own home. So now that's her requirement for a man. And then you go as a man, sometimes that man that matches her wage doesn't always select her in a romantic way.
I know this about a lot of women that have their own money, right? There's a chapter in my book called It's True Accountability, right? And there's a chapter called She is Successful, She's Sexy, but She's Single. And the issue with a lot of these women is they expect for a man to come in and just get with their woman, and it doesn't work like that. For a woman that wants a high value man, a lot of those women are going to confuse leadership with control. He's going to come in and provide structure. And a lot of self-sufficient women refuse to acclimate when a man comes in that house and provides leadership.
The brother absolutely cooked during that and told no lies. Let's go.
I was by myself. I don't remember who was on the stage with me, but
Truth
I do
hurts.
know what you're talking about. I get that question a lot. How can you be single and host a single show?
The show's called Singles.
Literally, the show is called Kendra G Singles, and this is when I love like somebody like Kyle's in the building who can attest how it started organically.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship and broke up during COVID. If you guys can all remember, during April 2020, well, really broke up in March of 2020. We couldn't quarantine with nobody because it was too dangerous.
Right.
At the radio station, we weren't even going in live in the studio no more.
We worked from home for a year and a half.
Yes. So when that relationship ended, I was literally by myself with my dog in my apartment.
That was your public. You had like a really public relationship.
No, that one wasn't public.
Okay.
That's so funny because no one ever talks about that guy, and you better never talk about that guy because Kyle does actually know who he is.
What do you mean?
But because I never posted him, and I learned the power of
I feel like
social
I
media.
know who it is, but
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if
be
you
quiet.
would know.
Was he in sports?
No, he wasn't in
Oh,
sports.
okay, go
He
ahead.
wasn't in sports. He had money though. They all have money, right? But
I know
either
that's
way,
right. Hey, yeah.
either way. No.
I mean, you're good at attracting them, I guess, Kendra, but keeping them is sold separately. Let's go.
Let's go attention. Let's stay focused. But no, because of that breakup, and it's the truth. D Nice inspired it because D Nice started connecting us via music on IG Live.
Yeah.
And I just felt like if I feel this way single, other people feel this way single. So I went on IG Live and literally, and because we're on media, we know when something's a hit.
Yeah.
I knew the first night because it was regular people. They were entertaining as hell. I had a white guy that only wanted a black girl. I had a black guy who said he had 2 and impossible for children. A baby was on the way. Wasn't sure if it was his baby. I had a gay guy that was looking for a surrogate. Like, all this happened in night one.
Yeah.
And I said, if I take this serious, it would change my life. And I literally did take it serious. I added it to my work
she did.
schedule.
So what you looking for?
What am I
There
looking
we
for? I'm
go.
never looking.
Before she gets into that, let me also give praise, okay? One of the hardest things as a creator on any of these digital platforms, and I go over this in Viral to Value, is being consistent. What you can't hate her on is that when she says she made it part of her weekly work schedule, she did just that. And she kept on creating. She kept on going live, irrespective of the comments, the feedback, the criticism, maybe low numbers for a night. And this type of consistency on digital platforms can be soul-sucking, but if you can make it through as a creator, there can be a light at the end of the tunnel. Matter of fact, let's take a look at what's the oldest. Oh, only 4 years ago? I thought that she was actually doing this prior to COVID, but maybe not. Let's actually look at the video section to see. Let me go oldest right here. When's it? Oh, okay. Looked like she was uploading things a bunch of years ago. What the? What's this? Kendra. I just stumbled across a damn gold mine. All right, let me turn off the music for copyright reasons. Interesting. All right. Bump Destiny's Child. This is Destiny's abortion. Oh, that's mean to me. I shouldn't have said that. All right, let's just keep looking real quick. Oh, she's giving some relationship advice. Let's hear. Let's listen. Last month, my Facebook page alone generated over $13,000. That number is so ridiculous. Why? Because I did absolutely no work in order to achieve that. But I put systems in play to earn that revenue. Now, there's a very important definition here. It's called resting revenue rate. How much money do you earn in a month at rest, not doing a damn thing? Because at least on my Facebook page alone, it's $13,000. Now, what's also crazy about that is I'm not a Facebooker. I'm a YouTuber. Majority of my money comes from YouTube and as well as ad sponsorships. The Facebook stuff is just the icing on the cake. But just the icing on the cake alone, I'm financially independent because it damn sure don't cost me $13,000 a month to live. Come copy my system of how I earn between $50,000 and $100,000 each and every month. Go to viral2value.com to pick up my curriculum and join my community where we also do live calls, Q&As, to answer all of your guys' questions on your content creation journey. Okay.
Co-worker Patrick in the studio today. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Kendra, what's good?
What's your question?
My question would be, I've been married for about 7 years now, and I noticed that marriage is not popular amongst today's society. Either the woman is not married or they're not even looking forward to get married. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you know what? I think a lot of women say they want to be a wife and they want to get married, but I always say this to ladies. When you think of marriage and if your wedding dress and your bridesmaid dresses come to mind, then you're not really ready to be married, because that's not what marriage is about at all. Marriage is about two people joining together, deciding to partner the rest of their lives together and ride it out. And that should be the forefront of marriage. Nowadays, you know, women say they want to be married because they have the picture of their Cinderella day in their mind, but that's wrong. And I think, you know, men, you know, ironically enough, I think men do get what marriage really is. That's why sometimes they're very reluctant to go into it, because they know what they're giving up and what they're doing. Whereas women, we have this fantasy.
Why did you think it was so important to talk?
Okay. What's interesting is that this video was dated 15 years ago. Seems like before she had an established audience of women, she would, you know, talk about some of the detriment towards men. But anyway, this has been a weird aside. My point was consistency.
No, listen, let me hear something.
Pairing everybody else, so I'm gonna pair you up. Let's go.
Well, no, listen. I
this
would
is a
say
good
this.
pair.
No, I don't know that.
Don't say that. No.
I didn't mean it like that.
Well, we got to put a pause between the no.
I didn't
Wait a
mean it
minute.
like that.
Say that again.
We gotta put a
No,
pause
let us say it
between the
again. We're going to try it again. Say it again. He's a good
no.
pair. He's a good pair.
No
Pause.
to you.
This is
I don't
what
know him like that. There we go.
I don't know you like
Thank
that. I wasn't trying to say anything negative.
She's saying best
But
stuff. How she-
what I will say is, it's never about Kendra trying to find a man. The man got to find Kendra, and I'm not easy. Here's the deal. I sit in a true seat of knowing my value and my worth, and I just feel like anyone that gets added on to me will be a blessed person, because I'm a good woman. I'm an asset. I'm gonna pour in, and I feel like back to when I said I got the contract earlier this year. I was very strategic. I said I'm not dating this year, and most men could relate to this, because when you work for something, I hear men say all the time, I'm focused, I ain't think about no relationship, I
Yeah.
got to do certain things. So why is it so hard when a woman says the same thing? I didn't want anything to mess up the opportunity. It took me 25 years to get an opportunity to be attached to the Oprah Winfrey Network. No energy, nobody is going to ruin that year for me. I had to stay focused this year.
Okay.
So I could be in a relationship easy. I could be married just to shut everybody up, but I'm real authentic and genuine. I'm not a gimmick. And although I believe in marriage, I mean, I have 4 weddings this year. I don't believe marriage is the right thing for every human.
Sure.
And I don't know if marriage is the right thing for me. I would be in a committed relationship, but to sign a document and have my assets attached to a person at this moment
That's
in time.
how men be feeling.
You gotta think like a man
literally,
now.
that's what I'm saying.
That's
Well,
how men be feeling.
it feels like if I was a man, every man will understand my conversation. It's just because I'm a woman, you're not used to a woman saying, no, I'm good. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you can't marry me and things go sour and then you think you're going to get half of my money and be with another woman. Honey, you going to heaven.
Can I?
You're going to be at Tupac concerts. You're going to be doing all things.
What if he got more than you,
Now,
though?
the problem here is often what Kevin would cite on his platform when he would talk to high-earning women is that you have created yourself to be the best man that you possibly can be. Men and women are different. But once you put income into the conversation, it's sort of like they equalize it or normalize it, or they compare themselves to men, whereas men don't compare themselves to women. But she called out the natural issue to what most men think about when they think about marriage, which is the divorce. And it being that the government has their grubby little hands over the contract, but also notice the double standard of why we're never treated differently. If a man was to say that, oh, if we get divorced, she gonna see heaven, or take half my ish, she gonna see heaven, how would people take that? They talk in comparison to man. Oh, men are gonna understand me saying this. Meanwhile, they're not held up to the same standards or not held as accountable as what a man is.
More than me. Would y'all say more than likely he's going to want more than one woman?
Yeah, he's
okay,
coming in.
so
yeah.
okay. So
Real
with that
man
being
don't cheat.
So why would I want to? So why would you ask me
Not
to
all of
agree to be with a man that y'all will all think is gonna have more than one woman?
I feel you. Listen, I've seen
Why would I sign up for that?
I've seen the maturation. I want to say this really quickly. I've seen when you've been head over heels with somebody.
Oh God!
I've seen when you've been done with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I've seen when you thought
Because he knows me for real, for real.
I've seen when you thought this was going to be the one and all of that. You know what I mean? But so I like the maturation. I also remember the days where some of the things you're saying now, you may not have agreed with back then.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I can say this. Shout out to Kyle and Leon, who I did the morning show with, who are married men who used to tell me stuff all the time.
All the time.
My
Like,
show-
are you really thinking that way?
No, but let me tell you, maybe I was once the delusional women of the show that will call in because my show is my education form. People think like my show taught me everything I know for the last 6 years because I have interviewed people and now I actually know the real data. So now I'm really in this and I do singles events. So I know in real time the ratio for the amount of man that is described that women want opposed to the amount of options he has. So literally this tall, good-looking, attractive guy, it's not an exaggeration when I say he has a good 10,000 options. I could bring him to different cities and every woman is still, because women are, like everybody, attraction wins. So even when we have a singles event, people are still focusing on the most attraction first over the character first. So I will say Kyle is correct. And my show has taught me now what I...
Valuable, high-value men are the most important asset in the world to these women. And, you know, whether it's to utilize for their resources or just have a much more easier life, their assets. When you advertise that to a majority audience of women, then it's a red flag the size of Haley's comment that valuable men should stay away. By the way, she's attributing what she's learned from her own dating show. Meanwhile, you damn sure watch Kevin's show.
You can be right all you want to. Men control access to marriage. And one of the major reasons that older women are getting passed over for younger women is you're too masculine. You're too bossy. The older you get, the more money you make, the more education you have, the more resources you get, thereby inflating your estimation of yourself. But that estimation is not your sexual marketplace value. It is going down. That man, if he can meet your high standard, he can meet a lot of other women's standard as well. And here's the problem. There are hundreds of you, thousands of you. Why should he pick you over the one that can carry her own babies at 24 or 25 or 26 who are willing to get on his program who don't have as many expectations as a woman your age.
Now we're going to fast forward a bit to when they start talking about Kevin Samuels and what happened at Invest Fest. You get to hear her perspective, her breakdown of it. By the way, I'll leave the Invest Fest, my critique or reaction to it down in the description box down below in case you want to catch up. But let's go.
They compare you to Kevin Samuels sometimes.
Okay, let me say this. Did Kevin Samuels interview gay men? Did Kevin Samuels interview transgender people?
Well, they say you're like the female
No,
version.
hold on. We gotta do the whole totality.
Okay.
Did Kevin Samuels have poly people on his show? My show has always been a dating show. So yes, we have black women on our show, which is a large portion, but my show was always centered around a dating show. And I think people compare the two because they always like to focus on black women only, but there's so many other components of my show. I don't think he's ever interviewed gay men on his show. I don't think he's ever interviewed transgender people on his show. I don't think he's ever interviewed people in poly relationships. So yes, there's a similarity to the women component, but my show has always been focused on finding people love. And another reason I got to say this is I am a 25-year journalist. I have a degree. I went to college. I was doing this before YouTube was created, before podcast equipment was on sale. No YouTuber could teach me shit. And y'all could beat that out.
Dead or alive. How you gonna take jabs at a dead man?
I wasn't taking I'm not taking jobs at him, but
You're talking about people that compare you.
Yeah, I want people to understand that this is no diss to him, R.I.P.
Okay.
But sometimes I do gotta talk my ish because you're not gonna take away the 25-year career that I have put in for this moment.
That's right.
And that goes without.
Now, she does have some points. Kevin's show was not a dating show. It was more like a State of the Union address in regards to modern day dating, one of which he would also interview people that would call in, and it was mostly women. Previous to that, he had a platform where he talked primarily, really only, to men. He would tell them to step up and be a man, to remove the wounds of being raised by a single mother. He would tell them to stop living in a delusion or a dream. He would teach them how to take care of themselves. He would teach them about image. He would teach them about fragrances. He would roast some of these dudes completely alive. I'm talking cooked, charbroiled down to the bone, all right? But he never went viral for that. But then he started to talk about women, and then he would dangle the objective of marriage in front of them and constructed around this idea of a high-value man. Because he noticed, and this is something that you echo on your dating show and on your podcast interviews, that you would have average to below average women requesting the top tier percent of men. Delusional women that bring nothing but headache and a cost to a man's bank account, i.e. a liability, requesting earth, wind, moon, and fire from him, meanwhile, isn't half of what she even asked for.
I don't like, even though I'm heavy set, I don't like heavy set men. I know, Kendra. Don't judge me, Kendra. Don't judge me, okay? I know you. I know what you're thinking. Like, girl. But do you want to hear my logic?
Okay, you say you know what I'm
Rasputia.
thinking. Tell me my thoughts.
Like, how you ain't gonna want somebody? How you not gonna want somebody big when you big yourself?
The back is massive.
So go ahead and answer that question.
So I'm gonna answer it. The reason why is because, like, if we be intimate, like I just feel like two fat people it's not gonna work out.
It's gonna stink in there. Yeah,
So why
you're right.
So I normally date.
That. That's good. I'm gonna let you, because you said you could read my thoughts. So I'm gonna let you respond. So you said when you're intimate, the intimacy doesn't work well between two big people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't you become the person that's less big?
Because it requires work, effort,
Girl.
accountability. Damn,
I didn't think of it that way.
Oh, of course you didn't. All right. Now, God bless this rotund lady. And we can poke fun of this. We can talk about this. But this is so sad that she doesn't even conceive that perhaps she can change something about herself, but then she requests what she is not herself. Kevin exposed all derivatives of this modern woman delusional mindset. And oftentimes, Kendra, we see you do it on your platform now as well. And that's where the comparison really lies. Now, in regards to learning from YouTubers, you're just talking completely out of your ego. And I would argue that your degree of fame before getting up on YouTube, like you were locally known to like maybe a Philadelphia, but your degree of fame was less so than even my degree of fame of being up on YouTube. Although you did like correspondent stints on like Fox News and stuff like that, people didn't really know you till you went full throttle on the digital platform. And even as I look at your page, there's so many things that you can improve on to improve your numbers. Shout out to viral2value.com because we're working on it up there. Link to it on the description box down below. But let's proceed.
Without saying, I understand the power of social media. I will agree without me doing my dating show, it doesn't lead to Oprah in that magnitude. But also, Oprah, I'm not leading to Oprah if I don't have all the other accolades. Right. You know, they're very much aware of all the things I've been doing for the last 25 years. I've had several radio jobs. I've been on CNN, BET, E, to name a few. I mean, the list literally goes on. So I just don't like the comparison because I feel like you're minimizing my resume and which got me here. I am a journalist, and when I'm doing interviews, that's what I'm doing. And all accolades, before I used to interview celebrities, I never won a Grammy. No one ever said, I could tell someone how to get a record deal. I literally can put you in position to be a star in that arena because of that 20 years of interviewing people. And I think you guys could say the same. You have the resources. You interviewed enough people in that category. But no one's ever said, well, you don't have a Grammy. Oh, you don't have an Oscar. But then all of a sudden when I'm interviewing single people, oh, you're not married. As in if being married makes you qualified to be a relationship expert, when we have witnessed in our own eyes, sometimes the wrong marriage could change your whole life. Okay. Marriage is not a badge of honor to make you a relationship expert. People get married for the wrong reasons every single day. And I support marriage. I never want that to get lost. Kyle is a good representation of a marriage that I support because I do believe marriage does work for some individuals. It just doesn't work for every individual. Right. And we got to stop brainwashing people to believe that, because that's why people get married and then ruin their lives.
That's true.
Listen, man, if you want more, you got to go watch the episode.
You try to do your Oprah thing for real. I just want a life partner. Where's Stephanie?
But don't a lot of men like life partners?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want. I want a lady. You can have your own.
Depends if there's cohabitation in the state.
House. I got my own house. We even have a third house that we can meet together. But I want my space.
Listen,
cleaning all that?
Congratulations.
Okay. All right, let's end it right here. If anything, the things that she's talking about, knowing how to get a record deal, right? Like, she comes from like this old media thing, right? And it's actually interesting to see that those that got college degrees and like media and shit like that, if, you know, they're Gen Xers, like I believe what Kendra is, breaking through in this new decentralized media requires completely different skill sets. Some of those famous, important people don't have media degrees or journalism degrees, right? Like getting a record deal, as she calls it, like back in the day, is way different than getting a record deal today. But anyway, big shout to Kendra Jizzle for the never-ending content. But yeah, I agree with her within the ideas of, you know, in the West, marriage, it ain't for everyone, baby. All right. Especially, I think, is if you are a secularist. You're taking a traditional religious thing and attaching all of these worldly, modern, right? Like the biology has not really changed, but the software has changed. And then you have a whole structure telling you not to get a prenup, which is no advantage to you as the man that's the breadwinner making more money. And it just seems like in the rest, they no longer respect the dichotomy of the sexes, that there's roles within the gender, that men have a different role to play than what women have to play. And when you equal all of that out, like I said, the hardware hasn't caught up to the software being the cultural narrative of what men should be and what they should be willing to take. And, you know, I'm fat, but I want a skinny man, all this other weird bullshit that's happening. Anyway, guys, I think I'm done with this piece of content here today. Let me know what you think down in the comment box down below. I appreciate you guys for constantly rocking with me. And last but not least, shout out to viral2value.com. If you guys want my blueprint of how to make it in online commentary for content creation, link to it in the description box down below. But yeah, I think I'm out of here for right now. Had some fun here today, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment box. Until next time, peace.